In the mythical world of Hunter x Hunter, our characters are met with many challenges. A personal favorite of mine, when they have to push heavy ass doors. Or, I guess if you're Ronnie Coleman, lightweight doors? The big reason I like this challenge is because we get to see Gon, Leorio, and Kurapika train to overcome this challenge. It's something that's not within their current strength levels, and they actually have to work to build the strength in order to be able to overcome this challenge. So as we do on this channel, let's dive in and let's break down all the training that they do. Before we get started, if at any point during this video you find the information I'm presenting to be useful or entertaining, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. Also, if you have a friend that you think would enjoy this video as much as you do, please share it with them.
This gate is officially known as the testing gate.
Holy crap, is that a jacked old man. I don't know how old he is, but I really hope when I'm his age, I look like that, because, like, goddamn.
The first doors weigh 2 tons each. There are 7 doors in all. Keep in mind that each set is twice as heavy.
Heavy ass doors. So as we find out here, the testing gate is 2 tons per door, and they double in weight. Each door goes up, I think up to 7 doors, they say. Holy crap, those are some heavy doors. Even just opening the first set of doors is a absolutely amazing feat. I want to know, like, how the doors work, that like somehow you can open up multiple doors but not other, because the lighter doors would just like open, but like that's some like anime magic stuff that we don't need to go into. The point is, these doors are heavy, and Gon, Killua, and Kurapika are not capable of opening these doors yet, and they need to train to get stronger in order to open them. So let's see what their training looks like, and let's see what we can learn from their training, and let's see if they are able to train hard enough to surpass the task of opening up these doors. I guess we already know that they open up the doors. Unless you haven't watched Hunter x Hunter? Spoiler?
Why don't you do some training while you're here? You 3 can try to open the door together. There's nothing wrong with teamwork.
Okay, so here Zebro is encouraging 2 things that I really like. The first of which is train. When you have something that you are physically incapable of doing, if you train hard enough, you can become physically capable of doing it. Obviously to a certain degree, but this is a task that other people have been capable of, and with some training, they'll be capable of it themselves. The other part I really like here is him encouraging some teamwork. I think teamwork is a great way of encouraging good training habits. I think as human beings, we are naturally social creatures. There's a social component of going to the gym, and in a way, you're kind of working as a team with the other people at the gym, even if you're not necessarily in a gym environment where you're socializing with those people all the time. You are naturally seeing other people working towards their goals, and that's going to encourage you to work towards your goals. That's a form of teamwork. Another form of teamwork is having a training partner or a personal trainer. People that can help support you in working towards your goals is always going to make it easier to achieve your goals. I would encourage that anytime you can implement teamwork into your training regimen by having a training partner, having a personal trainer, or just surrounding yourself with a good community of people, it's going to help you get better fitness results.
It weighs 50 kilograms. Wear it at all times. I'll make it heavier as you get used to it.
Okay, so the first component of this training is weighting training vests that they're going to wear at all times to make all life tasks a little bit harder. Not actually like a horrible way of training. I think pretty inconvenient for most people's lives, but I do think there is a strength component of, if you're used to daily life at a heavier body weight, when you are at a lighter body weight, you're going to feel stronger. I think people report feeling this when they lose a lot of weight really fast. They feel a lot lighter on their feet. They feel like they can lift more weight in the gym because they're lifting less of their own body weight. So in that fashion, the reverse kind of works. works is that you can wear a weighted vest all the time and like essentially live at a heavier body weight and then be able to take it off when you want to be stronger. I don't know that this is the type of training I would recommend or necessarily the best training per se, but it is a pretty cool way of training, and I respect that it's something that they're doing to work towards their goals here. So, you know, it could be worse. Also, 50 kg is 110 pounds? Holy crap. that's a big weighted vest, like right off the bat. Obviously, these are strong hunters, they're very capable. Do I think that this training would work for most people? I think that there's probably better ways to reach your fitness goals, depending on what your fitness goals are. But I would say that the majority of fitness goals I see people having, there's probably better ways to train than this.
The cups weigh 20 kilograms.
Okay, so 20 kilogram T-mugs, 44 pounds. So that's a pretty heavy T-mug. I don't see why Leorio can't lift it. You would get like a crazy bicep workout by lifting it, which is kind of neat. I think it's also gonna make drinking tea and or water or anything harder, which probably isn't good for hydration. So I would call this a net negative over a net positive. You would develop some pretty gnarly biceps by doing it, so that's something.
What's the point? You know they're just gonna give up in 2 or 3 days.
What's the point if you're just going to give up and stop trying in a few days? I don't like this at all because I think that often people in their fitness journeys are going to stop and they're going to start. But I think there's always a point in trying. I think at some point in time, people want to justify stopping trying new things because they're like, oh, I've failed so many times. What's the point? You shouldn't stop trying. You should keep trying new things and keep trying because you deserve to be healthy and you deserve to be fit and you deserve all of the positive things that come into your life from that. Never stop trying. Now, with that said, I think just trying the same thing over and over again is the definition of insanity. You should be constantly looking for more sustainable approaches. If you've tried to lose weight and you've continually lost that 30 pounds, put the 30 pounds back on, lost the 30 pounds, put the 30 pounds back on, obviously something isn't working for you and you need to pick a more sustainable approach to losing that weight. Maybe this time you only lose 20 pounds, but you're able to keep the 20 pounds off because you take a slower, more sustainable approach. That's better because the net positive of losing 30 pounds, gaining 30 pounds is 0. The net positive of losing 20 pounds and keeping 20 pounds off is 20 pounds lost. Never stop trying, but if something isn't working, look for a better approach.
Let me guess. The bathroom door is also...
Of course, that door weighs 500 kilograms.
A 500 kilogram bathroom door is absolutely hilarious. Good luck going to the bathroom, like, ever. That's an 1,100 pound bathroom door. I mean, I guess if you're working on pushing a 2-ton door, then that's helpful. All jokes aside, I actually really like the bathroom door. I think it is the best training that they've had so far. They have a goal of pushing a heavy door. So the best thing that's going to help them work towards that is going to be pushing and pulling heavy doors that are lighter than the heavy door they're trying to achieve pushing and pulling. But if they're starting with lighter doors and they're working their way up, that's eventually going to be able to get them to their goal of opening that heavy door. So I really like that this training is very specific to their goals, and it's probably the best training we've seen so far because it is the exact task they want to do. If you want to be a better runner, you need to run more. If you want to be a better football player, play more football. If you want to be a better hockey player, play more hockey. Obviously, there's going to be training you do outside of those tasks to help make you better at that task. But if you want to get good at something specifically, train that specific skill.
You need to let your arm heal properly first.
Don't train through injuries. train around injuries. So we see here that Gon has an injured arm, and Kurapika and Leorio want him to just avoid training. While they mean well, I don't think this is necessarily the best advice for Gon. I think there's some pretty solid research to show that if your left arm is hurt, you're going to recover faster, you're going to retain more muscle mass on that side, and you're going to feel a lot better by training the right arm. Or if you have an upper body injury, you're going to recover faster and retain more muscle mass by training your lower body. You should never completely stop training. You should train around what your injury won't allow you to do. Depending on what the injury is, that might vary. You might be able to do things with that side where you might not be able to do other things with that side. You might be able to do nothing with that side. But I think one of the worst things you can do is stop working out altogether. Obviously, rest needs to be a priority. You need to be getting lots of sleep. You need to be getting lots of protein. You can't be pushing things too hard. I think that the negative consequences of stopping training altogether greatly outweigh whatever positive benefits there could be, which the research doesn't really show that there is many from just stopping things altogether. But I think the negative repercussions when we think about getting away from training when we have an injury is you lose a lot of your identity as a healthy and fit person, and then that can have very negative repercussions mentally. Those negative repercussions can make your injury worse in a lot of ways. There's some pretty solid evidence to show that the psychosomatic part of injuries can be worse than the physical part of injuries. You can be injured longer, and it can take you longer to recover from pain if you are like more negative about the pain. You're struggling with more depression, you're not in a good place. Being able to reinforce yourself mentally that you are still strong, you are still capable by training around that injury is going to go a long way in avoiding some of those things. So doing what you can to train around the injury is a massive part of injury recovery. Not my favorite thing here that they tell him to just take some rest. Obviously they mean well. I think that Gon can and should still be training through this.
You ready, Kurapika?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have some static holds here. I actually think these are pretty decent. I like that they are practicing the skill of pushing a heavy door. They're going to work on getting in sync and doing some different things here to get their timing down. I think that, they're doing the exact task they need to do. They're obviously just not strong enough to do it, so they're exerting as much force as they possibly can, and I think that could be a good way of resistance training and getting some strength up. I think obviously the pushing of the bathroom door was probably slightly better training, and in a perfect world they would have doors at like 100 pounds, 200 pounds, 300 pounds, 400 pounds, 500 pounds, and they would do some like heavy sets of like door pushes at like 700 pounds and like open those doors for like some like singles or something like that, and then maybe do some like back down sets of like door pushes for like 12 reps with like a 200 pound door or something like that, and get some like very different tensions in there and do the actual skill of like opening the door. But I do think that given the tools that they have, the like static push into the door is a pretty good way of training here, so not bad. I like it. Okay, so here we have like a chair lateral raise where he's holding some chairs onto his arms as he brings his arms out. So this is gonna like really work the medial delts. This is another iso hold where they're just going into a position and holding it. They're not doing any movement. Like you have the concentric phase of the movement, the eccentric phase of the movement, and in this case they're just going to the top of the concentric phase and they're just holding it there. Not bad. I like it. Build up the deltoids. The deltoids are going to be taxed pretty hard in like keeping your arms straight for pushing the door open, getting to like work on like holding your arms out with some heavy chairs weighing it down. Not horrible. I'm assuming the chairs are also like super heavy because every like one of their appliances and like all of their furniture is like super heavy in the house. So cool. Single arm push-ups with a weighted vest. God damn. Holy crap. That takes a ton of strength. Absolute ton of strength to be able to do a single arm push-up with a 50 kilo weighted vest on, going as heckin' strong. If you would like to be able to do a single arm push-up, a tip that I would give you that I found really helpful for doing my first single arm push-up was to bring my feet out wide so it's easier to keep my balance and get down into that single arm push-up position. Now, as you get better and better at it, you can bring your feet in more and more and more, but if you've kind of like mastered push-ups and you're looking to get that first single arm push-up, give that a try. Okay, we have some rock sled pulls here. I really like this because this is going to be a similar movement with their legs as what they're going to be doing pushing the door open. So I think it's a really good way to develop that power and strength in their legs to allow them to open the door. So good movement, like it. Okay, we have some wood chops here. I think these are really good for developing core strength. If you want to do a similar movement in the gym to develop your core in a similar way, and you don't want to go outside and just like cut a bunch of wood, which by the way, if you do go outside and you do cut a bunch of wood, make sure you're alternating sides so you hit both sides of your core. If you're functionally just trying to cut wood for the sake of cutting wood, probably not something you're going to do. If you're actually trying to do it as like an exercise to develop your core, work both sides. If you aren't just going to go chop a bunch of wood, then you can use a cable machine to do a very similar type movement where you can do a cable wood chopper where you start with the cable high, you pull the cable low, and this will be a great way to develop your core. Don't sleep on sleep. Sleeping is one of the primary ways your body recovers. When you're sleeping, your body's taking all of the damaged cells that it has, and it is taking the time to transport the amino acids to it and recover, because your body is in a state of recovery when you're sleeping. It's called going into your parasympathetic nervous system. It means your body's state of relaxation and recovery. When you're sleeping and when you go into a deep sleep, that is your body's best state for recovery. If you're not sleeping enough, your recovery is going to be severely lacking compared to if you're sleeping more. I recommend sleeping at least 7 to 8, if not 9 hours a night if possible. I obviously know that some people lead very busy lives and that's not always achievable to get that much sleep. I would urge you to try to get at minimum 6 hours of sleep if you just can't get 7 hours of sleep, no matter what you try. What? Weighted one-arm handstand push-ups. This is even crazier than weighted one-arm push-ups. First of all, I don't know how the weighted vest isn't just like sliding off of him. Assuming he does have it strapped down tight enough that it's staying on while he's literally inverted. Having a 50 kilo weighted vest on and doing multiple reps of one-arm handstand push-ups. I don't know if I know anyone that can do a one-arm handstand push-up. I'm sure they exist out there. I'm sure there's some crazy calisthenic athlete that can do that. But I don't know if he could do it with a 50 kilo weighted vest on. Like, that is just a freaky, insane feat of strength that I think if somebody wanted to achieve, they would have to dedicate their life to. Kind of makes me want to try it.
It's only right to help him achieve his goal.
Let's give it another shot.
So here they're talking about their motivation and what keeps them training so hard to get this task done. I think the lesson we can learn here is a strong motivation or a strong purpose to achieve a goal is going to equal strong results. The stronger your resolve is to get a task done, the more sense of purpose it brings you, the more energy and effort you're going to put towards it, and the more likely you are to achieve that goal. And there we have it. They have successfully achieved their goal. My rating of the workout that they do in order to train to open this door is a 7.5 out of 10. What I liked about this training is that they utilized the tools that they had in order to train for the task that they wanted to achieve. They didn't give up, and that they utilized the principle of specificity. They wanted to open a door. They did a lot of tasks that would help them open a door, including opening lighter doors, but still heavy doors, just less heavy doors. They did some iso holds working on pushing the heavy door, and they did some sled poles, rock pole things that very much emulated the way that they drive their legs when they're trying to open the door. So I think the principles of specificity were well fit here. What I dislike about this is that the Zoldicks have so much money that I'm sure that they could afford better training equipment for the guards to help them stay in shape in order to open the doors. And assuming that the guards had better training equipment, and maybe they do, and maybe they just like weren't willing to share it with the three, I would assume that they would utilize better training equipment to have a more generalized approach to training, where they could specifically work on the heavy doors and do the heavy weighted vests, and they could do the heavy weighted furniture and all the things that they do to keep in shape to like open the heavy door. But they could also probably have some type of gym where they could do some like bench presses and some squats and some deadlifts and some more general training. They could maybe have like a door simulator machine where they could just like twist a dial and like load the weight of what they wanted it to be. We're gonna do like a top set of 3 heavy door pushes with 1,500 pounds today, and then we're going to do some back off sets of 5 with 1,000-pound door pushes. Like, how do the Zoldicks have all this much money and they can't afford to get the guards better training, but the guards are expected to continue being able to open these doors? So that's my gripe with this workout. Check out my Hunter x Hunter inspired program in the description below if you would like to get fit to push open the heavy doors that are your fitness goals. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please watch my review of the Training from Hell from the anime, The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic. I feel like the vibe is very similar to this video, and if you made it all the way to the end of this video and you enjoyed it, you'll also enjoy that video there.